Hey, welcome back to my channel. Come on in, shut the door. It's cold outside, so we want to keep the heat in. And if you guys could just stand over there, that would be fantastic. This is going to be the November greenhouse update, and we're going to call it Buds and Blooms because that's what I'm going to take you guys through today. And what we're going to talk about before we get into the Buds and Blooms is just a little bit of what's happening in the greenhouse for November. November is definitely the first of the colder months. I got to get through November, December, and January before there's sort of light at the end of the tunnel there. And biggest hurdle with November is the light reduction is so drastic this time of year. The greenhouse gets a couple hours of sun per day. It warms it up. It's 69 degrees in here right now. It'll probably get to a daytime high of 72 degrees. Humidity, of course, is always high. I've actually lowered it for the winter time. I think it's set to about 85 degrees now. 85% humidity now. And it still bumps back up. Right now it's 95% humidity in here again. The other thing that I have to deal with this time of year, of course, is the lower temperatures. So the temperatures at nighttime, I have to make sure the heaters are all in operation. They're at your feet here. So I have to make sure they're operating or set to operate anyways, and then nothing has been turned off for the night. I have a temperature sensor in the house so that if it drops below a certain temperature, I will know that something's going on out here and it's not performing exactly right. So with the lower temperature in here, you would think that the orchids and all the plants, it is their time just to sort of struggle to survive lower light, lower temperatures, but not the case at all. This time of year is actually really exciting in the greenhouse. Everything is coming out into buds and blooms. Everything from the is starting to sort of recover from the summer heat. So anything that likes it a little bit on the cooler side, likes the cooler night temperatures, which is actually most orchids. Orchids, for the most part, don't come from hot, steamy jungles. They're going to come from higher elevations, even if they're tropical. So they really appreciate the cool nighttime temperatures, and sort of just the normal 72 to 75 degrees is perfect for a lot of them. So what you find this time of year is all of the orchids are setting spikes. Some of the spikes take just a few months to actually turn into blooms. Others take until springtime to turn into blooms. But I'm going to take you through all that, and yeah, you can check out what's in bud and what's in bloom. This is a spider orchid. They have a weird smell to them. They're almost citrusy and spicy. It's quite large. As you can see if I put my hand behind it, it's the bloom is bigger than my hand. It goes all the way down. There's my fingertips at the top of the bloom, and it goes all the way down my arm. So there's quite a substantial bloom there, just beautiful. This one blooms for me several times a year, so that is a Brassa orchid. But let me grab the camera because it'll be so much faster me taking you around with the camera than me trying to bring everything to you to look at. So let's change angles. Okay, so we're going to start at the front door and we're just going to work it counterclockwise here. We're under the tripod right now. Culminaria, that's a type of Oncidium. It's been blooming for a while. I actually cut the main spike there and it came out the side. It was already coming out the side in all fairness before I cut the spike. Normally cutting the spike of an Oncidium doesn't result in more blooms. Nepenthes are doing good down here. These are some of the warm growers that are growing on a heating mat. So there's a Spectabili there. Some species Phalaenopsis are out in bloom. This is my Neophanita here. It's actually getting a spike right in there, but it's still super tiny. It's in like the dead center of all the fans. Hard to see. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. So that is what I believe to be a spike coming out right there in the middle. Let's see, what else do we have? I turned off all the lights for filming. They just affect the camera too much. These are my King Sundews. There's still 6 of them. They're doing quite well. Culminaria Wildcat, that's been in bloom for a while. All of my phals are starting to spike now. There's a spike in there. So that's a spike. And this is a root. There's another Phalaenopsis spike. This is a Phalaenopsis spike, so there's already buds starting on this one. Now, one way to tell if your growing area is too cold, Phalaenopsis are very warm growers, and these buds are going to be the first thing to blast if it gets too cold in here at night. So they're kind of my canary in the coal mine. As long as these are doing okay, all the other orchids are going to do fine. This little bent spike right here, this is one I didn't notice until it started growing against something. And anyways, got this kink in it, but that is a Sherry baby. This one is a Winter Wonderland, it's called. It's about to come out into bloom. It blooms in the winter. Maybe that's to do with its name there. Oncidium in spike. Behind it here is a Phalaenopsis in spike. It actually has 2 spikes. Back there you can see another spike. That one's actually, it's bloomed before but it didn't die, so I just left it. If we look up here, more Phalaenopsis spikes. There's a spike, there's a spike. This spike actually right here, right behind this leaf, branched off, so it has like 2 full spikes on one stem. Up here, there's another spike on that Phalaenopsis. Not sure what happened to this leaf. It looks like it got too warm or something. It really faces the sun. It's up quite high. I usually don't have them that high. That's a Dracula orchid bloom. These guys bloom all year long, it seems. Not sure if they're supposed to or not, but they do. Masdevallias love this time of year. I'll take you down here a little bit. So there's lots of spikes starting on the Masdevallias. Masdevallias are cool growing orchids. Beautiful though, I love them. That's a Masdevallia there. And there's lots of spikes happening in around there. More spikes over there. There's a great big bloom over here. This one I'm excited about because I don't have an identification on this one. But look at the size of that bloom. That's going to be huge for a Masdevallia. Absolutely like 4 fingers wide. So that one will be cool. It looks like it's going to be an orangey pink, but you can't really tell right now. So we'll go up really high. Dancing Lady Oncidium is still dancing away. I have 4 spikes on this. This is a Lilea anceps, kind of a Cattleya type orchid. They're awesome because they're super hardy and they can grow in a wide range of temperatures. These are good down to frost. We looked at the Brasa orchid already. There is an Oncidium twinkle spike. More Oncidium spikes there and there. If you, when you're here and you start looking, you can really start to see them on pretty much everything. Maxillaria is in bloom down there. Kind of has a red flower to it, reddy brown. I just smelled the Brasa there. It smells awesome. I love this orchid. It smells so, I can't even describe it. It just, you have to have one for yourself to smell. This is a first time bloomer for me. This was a rescue orchid from the summertime I got given. It's kind of nice. It's yellow and then almost green. It's the first one to open. You can see there's a bunch more buds, but these are still like, they kept the green and then we have yellow and red in the middle. Dendrobium. This is a Dendrobium Hibiki. I've shown this one before. It's awesome. It blooms off old canes and new canes. So these canes are going to be a big, nice display. It's blooming off little tiny canes right now and it's got this much of a display. This is another Oncidium type. This is a Bulgaria, so it's a hybrid. Deep, deep red with orange. So that is a mini Cattleya. Beautiful plant. Flowers once a year. All of these pink guys here are from the same plant. These are Dendrobium Phalaenopsis. This is a Sherry baby in bloom. These smell amazing as well. I absolutely love them. That smells so good. If I had to pick one between the Brassa there or the Sherry Baby, I think the Sherry Baby would win. The Brassa is kind of spicy, citrusy, and the Sherry Baby is like sweet and chocolatey. This is a Wilsonaria. It's a type of Oncidium. Up here, sorry about the backlighting on that guy. It is a red Vanda. It's not going to want to focus because the sun's behind it. Sorry about that. The Nepenthes is out in bloom, well, in bud. And yeah, this front wall here, this has a few of my Cattleyas in that are in spike. They'll have sheaths. There's some buds in there. I'm not able to get to them exactly, but there's some more Cattleya blooms coming out. That is the greenhouse. Let me unzoom here. On a bright, sunny November the 14th. So that is a November greenhouse update. Lots in spikes, so there's hopefully going to be lots in bloom for December for us. I look forward to doing the December update with you guys. And on another note, if you haven't checked out my other channel, Brad's Life, it's new. I've released a few videos on that, but it officially starts November 20th, so I'm going to be releasing videos quite frequently on Brad's Life as well. I have big news for November 20th, so we're going to release it with a bang. So make sure if you haven't checked out that channel, you head over there, subscribe so you don't miss out on my big news. And anyways, until next time, we will see you later.